Hey everybody, so this is my Meet the Mun video for my 300 followers. First of all, I would like to thank all 303 of you for following me and staying with me through the ridiculousness that is this Tony Stark roleplay blog. And I love you all. You're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're kind, and stay fly. That's my sign off. um, I guess I could just introduce myself. My name is Michelle, but some of you probably already know that. I'm 19 years old. I live in Washington, Pacific Standard Time. Um, I don't really know what to do past that point, and I'm really long-winded, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into these questions that you guys have asked me. There's a few of them, there's not a lot, but I can probably stretch these out to be at least like a 15-minute long video. So, let's see. Anonymous asked you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome do you rate yourself? Personally, in real life, I give myself like a 15, because I'm pretty fucking great. Or at least I think so. Sometimes. Um, if you're talking about, like, as far as my skills as, like, a role player, I give myself like a 5. I'm not too good, I don't think. I have my doubts sometimes. A lot of times, actually. But, let's see. Next question. Ask Claire Barton asked you because fuck it, I'm legitimately curious. Why do you continue to interact with me after my horrid roleplay? First of all, Ashley, shut the fuck up with that shit. You're not horrible. I think you're great. I think you're wonderful. And I continue to roleplay with you because of those reasons, because I think that you're wonderful. And Tony loves the shit out of Claire, and I'm pretty sure he'd die without her. So, yeah, all of you people that say that you don't know why I role play with you because you're terrible. You guys are not terrible. I love every single one of you, and I think you're so great. And you guys are the quality, not me. Jesus. Um, Anonymous asked me if you could live anywhere, where would it be? Fuck. Um, if I could live anywhere, anywhere in the world, Antarctica. No, no, I'm kidding. Not Antarctica. I think probably Australia or Ireland because I really like I think they're beautiful countries and it would just be interesting and I fucking love people with Australian and Irish accents. They're my favorite accents ever. And I just lost my train of thought. Um yeah, that's Australia or Ireland, I think. Uh what would you do with $1 million? If I had $1 million right now, I would not be living in the house that I'm living in. I would be moved out on like not living with Dustin's mother. Dustin, I'd take you with me too, I promise. See, what else would I do with $1 million? Because what's it like 1,200 to get out of here? Dustin wants a Ferrari, so I think I'd buy Dustin a Ferrari.
That was a joke. I don't actually want to
You don't want a Ferrari? What kind of car do you want?
Uh, Shelby GT.
Shelby GT? Okay, I can do
Something out
that.
of the 60s.
No, the joke with the Ferrari is that Dustin's mother came downstairs one day and was like, "Oh, what's her life insurance policy? Like $200,000?"
Yep.
Yeah, she got life insurance and was like, "Don't get any ideas about killing me." And Dustin was like, "Dude, if I killed you and I got your life insurance policy because he's the beneficiary, I could buy 2 Ferraris."
Good investment.
And that was his whole thing, was he's just gonna buy 2 Ferraris if his mother dies. So I'd probably buy Dustin a car with it. Probably buy myself a car. I just wouldn't buy anything super nice though. I would drop the Buick off the cliff. I'd probably go buy myself another Jetta actually. I miss that thing. I miss that thing so much. Um, what else could I do with $1 million?
Feed poor people.
Feed poor people. But Dustin, as much as everybody says that they're gonna feed poor people, I don't. I really honestly, no offense, I don't think I'd feed anybody with my $1 million. I'd turn into a greedy bastard and be like, oh, I have $1 million. Just being honest, because um, after we moved out, I would probably deck out our house with shit, with just cool stuff. Dustin, I think I'd buy you a new Xbox. Unless you like the one that you have, then I wouldn't buy you a new Xbox. You'd just live with that one. Probably buy.
Not the, I'll take a Falcon Northwest computer.
Get you a computer. I love how it's like if I got $1 million, what would I do with it? Spend it all on Dustin. I'd probably buy a bunch of fucking cartons of cigarettes. That way I wouldn't run out. At least not for a long time. I'd buy a lot of weed. Um, probably throw a big ass party too. Go buy a pair of pants that actually like doesn't have holes in them. Not work at McDonald's. That would be another thing I'd do if I had $1 million. Um, go visit my mom and my brother and my dad and all my friends back home. That's what I'd do if I had $1 million. There's just so many things I'd do with $1 million. This just totally got me off track.
You ever seen the house from 17?
Yes, the house from 17 again that Uncle Ned lives in, with all of that shit in there, that would be my house. If you could choose to do absolutely any job and be good at it, what would it be? Photographer for National Geographic. End of story. That's my dream job. But I'm not that good of a photographer, so, yeah, let's just not, I'm not gonna pursue that. Let's see. I will come back to that question because that one's gonna be a long-winded question. Alright, my opinion on Tom Hiddleston. I really don't want to answer this. I'm really afraid to answer this because I'm going to have an army of fangirls after me. I think that Tom Hiddleston is a decent actor. I've not really watched any of his movies other than like I've seen him in Thor and I've seen him in the Avengers. I never really got into the Hiddleston thing. I don't really think he's that attractive. However, if you think he's attractive and you think that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, it's fine with me. I just don't think that way. I don't know why somebody asked me this question, but thank you. I did ask for questions. And then the question I skipped that I said I'd come back to because this is gonna get personal, guys. And I don't judge me for anything that I'm about to say. And don't gush over me, nothing like that. This is out here for everybody to know. I don't need anybody to be like, oh baby, I'm so sorry, it's okay. It's, it's all over and done with now. In what ways do you relate to Tony, and why do you think that is? I guess I could start off with the daddy issue thing. Tony Stark had an alcoholic, abusive father who wasn't actually really there. In some ways, my father's situation is similar to that. In other ways, it's different. My mom and my biological father had me before they got married, and then they got married and they had my brother. And then my biological father was very absent while my parents were married, and my mom finally kicked him out, and I haven't heard from him since, really. I haven't spoken to that man since I was 12. My mom marries a new guy, and that is my dad, because my biological father does not deserve the term of father, because that's not what he is. He's a sperm donor. The guy that my mom is married to now, Nick, he's a great guy, and I love him, and he's done so much for me. But, he is a fucking raging alcoholic. Like, just straight up cracks a beer at 6:30 in the morning when he gets up and doesn't stop drinking till he goes to bed. He also, there was a period of time where he hit me, and I don't really like to talk about it that much. And so I kind of identify with that whole like dad not being there, and when he is there, he doesn't do anything but like hit you and drink and that sort of shit. It just fucking sucks. But um, let's see, another way I relate to Tony. I know there's multiple ways. Part of the reason that I picked to play Tony is because I relate to him as like his character a lot. Um, the constant feeling of inadequacy, that he feels like he's not going to be good enough, that he's not going to be good enough for his parents, that for anyone that he like that feels like they love him, that sort of stuff. I totally get that. I try so hard all the time because I feel like I'm not good enough, and that's basically what I get from my parents, is that not good enough for them, I'm not good enough, period. And I throw myself into things that I think are going to make my parents proud just to do them. That way I can get that love and support from them that I want. And God, this is harder than I thought it was. um, Substance abuse is another way that I sort of identify with Tony. He was an alcoholic. Granted, I had a little, it was a little bit of a different problem, but substance abuse is an escape from things in your life that you don't like. Uh, the egotistical, selfish bravado and the charm that he puts on in order to hide like the sort of things that he just doesn't want people to see. The fact that he's insecure with himself, and that like he uses his ego and like his narcissism to hide the fact that he doesn't really like himself, because nobody hates Tony Stark more than Tony Stark hates himself. I feel like nobody hates me more than myself, like more than I hate me. And I cover that up by being this ridiculous, outlandish, larger than life sort of person. But in reality, that's not exactly who I am on the inside. And oh my god, I'm doing soul searching right now, and it's really hard to do this while I'm on camera. I'm sorry, guys. This ended up being a little bit longer than I needed it to, and I'm sorry if this is jumbled and unclear. I'm getting a little uncomfortable, to be honest. But, there are other ways I'm like Tony, I know it.
Did you build a suit of armor?
I did not build a suit of armor. Where's my arc reactor at?
Here, I can put it together. Put it back together for you.
This is another way I'm like Tony. I have an arc reactor heart. No, I'm kidding. This is actually a $7.99 toy from Toys R Us. That is incredibly inaccurate. But wow, now that got nice and depressing and just bad. um, I feel like I should probably stop this right now because this video has now reached almost 14 minutes. And if you guys have stuck through this, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you listening to me talk about myself and this sort of shit. Um, my ask box is always open for everything and anything. If you need to talk to somebody, if you have a question about me, if you have a question for Tony, just fucking hit it up. Don't really care. I mean, I do care, but like, I'll answer pretty much anything. Uh, guess that's about it, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces.